welcome. Oh man, those things are a little fuzziness on my one side. Welcome to our 119th episode of Gorilla Radio. I was surprised by this intro, but I'm Joe Caprino. We have Mr. Mike Reiser back here to talk about some wrestling and lots of wrestling to talk about this week. How was your week? Things getting back to normal, hopefully.
Getting there, definitely getting there. Just a lot of stuff going on. But getting better every day, which is good. My daughters are getting better, which is the main thing. Kim feels better, so
good.
everything's been going better. Still, a ton of people reached out, which is great.
That's good to hear. I know it's you get a little bit of a slow time, hopefully with Christmas break and stuff, and a little less. Hopefully not too much hassle and running around and stuff. I know that's a fun time of year for everybody. So, got a great week of wrestling last week and got lots of news. Trying to move my camera so I hate that fuzzy stuff. Anyway, I guess we're gonna start with the best piece of news. Actually, probably the biggest piece of news. Is we're heading back to the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic. Got invited back. He didn't expect to release it on Friday. We were talking with the one of the committee members or organizers I talked to last time, and like, yeah, we're going back and forth with the press release. Hey, this, that, whatever, little things here and there. And then all of a sudden he's like, here it is, and it's released. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta finish this article. So pretty excited to do that. It's gonna be Friday, March 25th, I believe. We'll get in on Thursday. They'll have a banquet on Thursday night. Real nice dinner. Thursday they'll practice, get uniforms, all that stuff. And then banquet on Friday or Thursday night. And then Friday there's going to be some kind of team activity. I don't know what he's trying to figure out what they're going to do. But then they'll start about 4 o'clock, I believe, on Friday. So it's going to be some good wrestling. And I hope we beat the crap out of the whip pile, because they beat us last time and we lost like 5 close matches. So I'm excited. I'm excited for these seniors to go out there and be able to showcase their talents.
Yeah, I think last time it was a great event. A lot of really talented Indiana guys in there. A lot of guys that wrestled at the next level. So it'll be a good opportunity for these guys. It's a great class. Mm-hmm. I think I know we talked about it when these guys were freshmen, about how talented this class was, and how can we do something similar we did with that class with Drew Hughes and those guys and Chad Red, and then again, like with the next class with Brayton Lee and Mason Paris, was another great class, and just shows like how far Indiana wrestling came.
Yeah,
overall.
I mean, it's so cool to be able to showcase these kids on that level like we have been able to. And I know when we went to Pittsburgh the first time, when we had Drew Hughes got bumped up to he pulled double duty, and he ends up riding out Jake Wenzel, who's an NCAA runner-up this past year. And everyone, the committee was like, hey, I think it was 160. Drew wrestled 70, and they're like, they're like, hey, would your 160 pounder like to, would he be interested? And that was, we had Kale McCormick, and McCormick was a 52 pounder that year, if you recall correctly, and he was a late replacement. And I'm like, hey, what about Drew? He's wrestled 60. He's under 170. He's like, he weighed like 167, 168. With a 5-pound allowance for 170. So they're like, yeah, well, I go, he's a nationally ranked kid. He's not any bigger, really. He wrestled 60 at Super 32, this and that. And they're like, yeah, that'd be a better matchup. And then, and Drew saved the day, because the U.S. would have lost if Drew didn't wrestle there.
Yeah, and then Owen Duster pulled double duty also,
yes,
right?
Yes, he did. Yes.
He had to fill in for Chad and wrestle Pletcher, right?
Yes, a not happy Luke Pletcher.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a couple guys doing double duty. It was pretty. It was pretty cool to be able to sit in the corner for both Owen and Drew's match. It was, I was sitting between Brandon Paulson and Leroy Vega, and then Drew goes, in third period, he's like top, and Paulson's like, does he really choose top? And Leroy and I like, yeah, let him do it. He's good. So that was a lot of fun, and it was a great time there. Just they treat the kids like royalty, and you get first class treatment there, and that's why we want to go back and showcase the kids' talents. And the cool thing is, and I put it in the article, that the profits from that, they get a lot of sponsors and stuff. A lot of profits go to I believe it's like Boys and Girls Club. The Dapper Dan, what it used to be called, was like a Boys and Girls type club, but they now have I believe it's Boys and Girls Club that it goes to directly now, but it's some kind of charity like that. So this is all basically a big charity event, which is really cool to be able to do that, and be a part of helping a charity and showcasing wrestling. So pretty neat event.
Yeah, I think we're super lucky to be able to get represented there.
Yep. And then I know the one thing we were talking, we've been going back and forth, and weight classes are going to be a very interesting topic, because Pennsylvania has 13 weights, which is basically our weights up to 160, and then they have like 172, 189, 215 in heavyweight, and then obviously we know our weights. There's going to be 12 weights. I know that. We haven't totally figured out how we're going to do the weights, so
yeah, because
yeah,
the guys in that range are all pretty good.
Yeah, and we were going back and forth. I'm like, like, well, can I'm like, we have Bauman, Jesus Pete's, Bauman
Dollars.
and Buchanan, Solers right there, and it's like, I was like, well, can Buchanan maybe cut to 175? But I'm like, oh crap, we have Bauman at 170, so
Yeah.
and then at 160 we also have Conway. We can't. I mean, we'd have to almost shift everyone down a weight or up a weight. So we'll figure that out once we get a little bit closer. As a season, I know they have a lot of other things they're trying to loose ends they're tying up, so that's probably the least of our worries right now. But we're in the event, so we're gonna bring in 12 hammers, and we're gonna hopefully come out 12-0 there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's gone. Freddie's only a junior, right?
Yeah. This is all Matthew. This is only for seniors. Unfortunately, that's the only bad thing about that is someone like Purdy would have been right in that mix.
Well, the next year's class too is pretty talented. But I think overall, just there's a huge, like how it's gone, and it's just getting better and better and better, which is obviously great for all the coaches, because the coaches have been pushing these guys in the clubs, and just the level of wrestling has been increased. Even that while you watch these duels, or you're watching these events, and I know we're going to talk about some of the events later on, but what we did, like at a smaller national event this weekend as a state, and then what I expect these guys to do at a national event this weekend, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, no, and Indiana's their top end, our top end talent is getting better, and our depth is getting better. So that's always a good thing. I think we have a lot of really good guys, and just going down our lineup, we have a pretty good, real good, senior class. I mean, even we have a couple good lightweights. I mean, a couple 2 6-pounders, seniors are sitting right there as seniors at 106 at 2 and 3. So
yeah,
that's pretty impressive. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a 106-pound weight class. We're still trying to figure out whether we'll start at 113 or 120. So, I mean, 113, you have Dickey, who's pretty darn good. Right there, that he could wrestle with anybody. And you got, at 20, you got Rubel and Miller, as top 2 guys. 126, Vargo, Sprague, Elijah Anthony, KT Nelson, some really good guys down there. Obviously, KT's a huge wild card as far as I think he could contend for a title. 32, you have Zeke.
Yeah. I was talking to someone this weekend, and they were like, what happened? I was like, took a couple of years off, but he was still showing up to IPO and putting in work. Like he was still like run champ there, and it was just like, nah, he's a hammer.
Yeah, you got some Jesse guy at 38. He's won.
Yeah, he might be on the main event though.
Yeah. Either way, like I was talking to his dad, I was like, either way, he's going. So, so that I mean, even behind him, you got Cole Salome, Garensker, some pretty good guys there. Gavin Garcia, 145, Hayden Watson, Matt Kuntz, pretty good guys. Brody Arthur, 52, Goenzonia Jr. Got Alex Curry, TJ Barrett. That'll be an interesting see what comes out there. And then you got Conway, Cade Law at 160, Landon Boa, number 4, 170, Bauman, Cody Kwaja, Hayden Shepard, Brody Porter. Oof.
Yeah.
The Mechanical Regional representing there. 82, Buchanan, and Jake Suez, Jacob Simpson, 95, Solers, Market, White Willman, and then 220, Richfield, Hirely, Juan Grange, and then heavyweight we have Whiteneck, Jacob Johnson, Big Mike, Latnov. A lot of good guys there. So, I mean, it's all line up top to bottom. You can go 2 or 3 deep, and you're not losing much, if anything.
No, and I think that's like the cool thing is like that's like you're right. The top end talent's really good, and I think you're starting to see it a lot at the NCAA level also, where you're starting to see a lot more guys. In the semis, All-Americans, multiple time All-Americans. Where I think even as back like 10 years ago, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When was Stefan a freshman? 15 years ago.
Yes.
That's just a funny Stefan joke.
Yes, he'll be coming back. So that's the big news, at least from the Indiana Mat perspective. The other news kind of dropped today. It's kind of very interesting. Could have some very interesting wrestling news. Is that Carmel and Center Grove got voted out of the MIC, and the rumors are they're heading to the Hoosier Heritage Conference. I believe that's what it is, with Avon, Brownsburg, Fishers, Franklin Central, Hamilton Southeastern, Noblesville, Westfield, Zionsville. So it sounds like that they're looking to get in that. That'd be a nice little day of wrestling for a wrestling conference. Jeez.
Well, I mean, like also we talked about a little bit like football. That's a really good football conference too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about like I'm sure like in a lot of those sports. I know Center Grove's good at softball. They have some like good softball players. Hamilton Southeastern Satellite softball, but across the board, that's just going to be if that's true, that's going to be a really tough conference.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be a huge. Trying to figure out. Let's see. That's just going to be a mega conference. I mean, that's going to be like the premier conference of the state. Right now, they're in the MIC, which is Ben Davis, Lawrence Central, Lawrence North, North Central, Pike, and Warren Central. So that's gonna be they're just gonna kill. I mean, that's gonna be a heck of it. I mean, that's gonna be the premier conference in the state.
Well, and that's how I felt like they did in Northwest Indiana when they did away with some of the smaller conferences and they made the DAC with all the bigger schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have, like in our area, that's like the better football schools. Like that, those are some of the best football schools in the state. Like I'm not even comparing that, but wrestling, the DAC is always well represented. I would, we could go down there and commentate that out. I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
that'd be like a small state tournament. Especially with the teams and what they're going to put there. Going forward, obviously Ed always does a good job. Avon does a good job. Brownsburg is a hammer right now. They're like just getting better. Looking at the youth rankings, you see like a lot of Brownsburg, Crown Point, Center Grove is stacked. And those other guys, Westfield always does a good job. Hamilton Southeastern does a good job. The Welches have done a good job at Zionsville. That's Franklin Central's had some really good big guys the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You ain't get a lot of easy matches out of there.
No. There's no. That's a semi-state level day. I mean, from the get-go. Yeah. I mean, and probably even more because you're not getting the Richmond regional at least 1 out of 4 matches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a semi-state level from the get-go. I mean, you're gonna get. I mean, out of those teams, I mean,
you could have like state qualifiers.
Half their team. I mean, I would say on average of those 10 teams, they'll have at least 70 semi-state qualifiers. Yeah,
and you're those guys are gonna be at the semi-state with a chance to punch the ticket that could go OT barbecue there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or finish like 6th or 7th.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
tough.
that'll be a if that happens, that's going to be a premier. I mean, I look at it as one of those things that I mean, you're just going to get your. I mean, you're going to get beat up, and that's going to be a rough day of wrestling. And then you got to turn around and get ready for sectional, which sectional is going to be worlds easier.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of teams too. There's a lot of big
Yeah.
teams. The DSC is only 8 teams, so it's not like you're not getting 6 matches in a day or 5, not 6, but 5 matches in a day, 4 matches in a day. You might get a couple, but it's tough.
Yeah, so that's
And on the end of that, I would say on the other end of that, like there's some teams in the DAC that are not wrestling powerhouses, so you're gonna have a couple easier matches also.
nice. For DAC at the HCC. I'm sure one of those guys was Quinn Harris. If I had to guess. No, yeah, that's already a tough conference as it is right now. I mean, those are There's no. I mean, you think of the teams at the bottom, would be finishing 7th and 8th with like Fishers and Noblesville are the bottom there, but they're tough. I mean, they have great coaching. They have good kids up and down their lineup. I think we wrestled both teams at Westfield, and they're tough. They're well coached. They're not gonna. They're not easy matches by any means. So,
No.
I mean, and plus they're both pretty big schools, so they're gonna be pulling a lot of guys. So that'll be interesting to watch. Saw that news drop today. I was like, what is that? Kind of just piqued my interest a little bit. The other big piece of news, actually not really news, but just as a heads up, is Mike pointing this out that Big Mo,
as I go and peruse, results, just casually looking at results across the board.
Omadande is wrestling, kind of, here and there. He's wrestled probably at least a handful of matches, if not a few more than that. And it was one of those things. Mike's like, yeah, he's wrestling. Mike, is this something that kind of snuck under the radar? And emailed their coach, and he said he is wrestling, but he's done basically in a week or two because he's done with school. So you might see his name in the results. He's tearing people up because he can, and he's a darn good wrestler.
Yeah, because he's a different type of athlete.
Yes,
for sure.
Darn good athlete
really well.
So just as a heads up, if for our public service announcements, if you see him in the results, don't be alarmed. At least per his coach, he is done. But they had someone else that wrestled at, I want to say, like I said before, like the Clinton Prairie or Clinton Central event this weekend. They had someone else, and he won the tournament, which is a pretty solid little tournament. I mean, it's not like it's not the Carnahan by any means, but it's a good little tournament, and their backup won it, so that's a good sign for them and stuff. So,
oh man, I'm sure he's in that room getting, if you're in there and you're a big kid, you're getting, Mo every day. Rossman's a bigger guy. They got some bigger coaches. They got Burkett in there. I'm sure you'll find a way to get better or get beat up real bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a bummer kind of because it seems like a pretty nice guy, and they've never had a state champion at West Lafayette, so he'd be right in the mix to be under lights again. So kind of I always like to see the the first state champions from those teams, from a team. That's always cool to see. So but maybe Barkett will get it this year. So that's that. I guess we'll start talking about last week, some other wrestling news, wrestling matches actually. The big one, we're going to have a new number 1 at 195. John Purdy defeated Gabe Sellers 4-3, I believe, and no article jinx. So if if you're a good wrestler, you want to knock off number 1s, we'll do an article on you, and you're guaranteed to, as of right now, you're guaranteed to knock off a number 1, right?
Yeah, John Purdy set the standard.
Yes.
But I mean, we were talking about it too. Like John Purdy's, he's always been really good. Like I think he had tougher draw as a freshman, but like just a big athletic. Like when you get like a big athletic kid like that, athletic family. I think we said before his sister plays D1 softball, real good softball player, state championship game last year. I seen her dad. Their dad posted it. They won on like a squeeze play. I think she hit like a triple, and then the girl bunted her in. She slid in for the state championship, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
he's a real good football player, obviously a really good wrestler. And then he has the technique. He's won at every age level. So that's going to be a nice little rivalry. It's not like those guys are, close to each other, Castle and Mater Dei. So it's not like those guys won't see each other again this year.
Yeah, they'll see each other conference at least. Does Castle go to the Mater Dei Classic?
I'm not sure. But definitely regionals, right? Semi-state. Yeah, we talked about it before, like that semi-state is stacked at 95.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have Gunnar Henry in there. You're going to have, I think we had some other guys coming out of that regional. Was Willman in there? Is he up?
Yeah, Willman's in that regional, I believe. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Willman, Salers, and Purdy, same regional. And one of them's going to have the opportunity to possibly have Gunnar Henry. And I'm sure we'll talk to him. Probably Van Skinner is going to be in that mix. Mm-hmm. So a very tough 195 out down south.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
with a lot of guys that are big and strong and fast.
Exactly.
Probably play good football.
Yes, they'll see them at. No, they're at Mooresville. Castle's at Mooresville. They'll see them at the SIAC conference and that regional, and then semi-state possibly. So that's going to be. I mean, that's going to be that death draw you're looking at right there. As far as a Gunnar Henry who. I'm pretty positive he's probably a favorite for a regional title, but he's going to have possibly Solers, Purdy, or Willman. So
yeah,
I mean, there's there's 2 out of 3 chance that if he wins regional, he's going to get one of those guys.
Yeah, there was another real good Mater Dei freshman, or not Mater Dei, but Brownsburg freshman that had a real good record going into a tick-around match and lost and had a real good career. He's having a great career in college.
Yes, yeah. So that's going to be one to watch. For the as we get later in the season, obviously, Solers has some pretty good credentials, and he's going to get better as the season goes on. And I don't know if he played football because he went to Super 32, so he might have played football. I don't know if Coach Gay will let him take the weekend off to go to Super 32 or not, but
I know Purdy's an All-State, right? He's an All-State football player.
Yeah. Yes, he is. I'm pretty positive he is.
And I believe the Willmans were. I know the older Willman was a real good quarterback. I think the younger Willman is also All-State, I believe.
Yeah. I'll try to find the. Let's see, because Mater Dei was at the at state this year. Let's see if they have their roster.
And they lost Andrean. If they would have had, maybe if Gabe Salers playing middle linebacker, a little bit less. 59 is bringing it home for the region.
Nope, he does not. He did not play for that, but he was not on their roster. So,
I think on the day that so I seen that Hector had posted like the kid that plays at Andrean's an animal. He's going to Notre Dame. I think he played middle linebacker and he played running back. I think he basically like put Andrean on his back. Back might be sore. I know him and Hector, his dad and Hector played like slow pitch softball together, and then their kids like committed to like top Division I programs on like the same day.
Nice.
So something good in the water out here, guys.
Yes, that region water, that region air, the steel mill pollution does good for you. So,
tough lungs.
Yep. So, I guess we'll go on the other things. Brownsburg. Brownsburg won the Grappler Gold Invitational this past weekend. Real good showing. They beat Davison, who was ranked 10-ish. 10. Actually, I think they were like 8 or 9. And Brownsburg, I guess some new rank. I did not see where the rankings were coming from, but I've seen that they were up to number 10 in the state or in the nation this week. So I don't know who released their rankings. I don't know if it was a Matt Scout or I assume it was a Matt Scout one, but I don't know. I'm checking it right now. So, yes, yeah, Matt Scouts. So yeah, they got moved up to number 10 from 16. That's pretty good.
Pretty good jump.
Lots of ranked matches, and they beat some guys that were nationally ranked. So that's always a good thing to see for them. So. Well,
I think especially in an event like that, you're going to have, obviously we're talking about something that's been talked about ad nauseum, but Indiana has this stupid rule where you can't go that far. So when you get these events that you can have these nationally ranked guys there, these nationally ranked events, you go and do well. It puts a bigger emphasis on how good Indiana is.
Yeah, definitely. And this one's, I mean, Michigan's in the same boat as we are as far as traveling, being able to travel. So, I mean, so it's a good event to be able to bring Indiana and Michigan guys together. Um, let's see, Brady Ison won it. So did Gavin Garcia.
A good weekend for Gavin Garcia, though, right?
Yeah,
That we kind of talked about that. He had dealt with some injuries last year. Really good showing for him.
yeah. Let's see who else does have this in a weird order. Gunnar Henry won it. Leighton Jones, Jake Hockaday, Preston Haynes, and then Logan Miller had a real good match. Logan Miller, I think these were his first matches. Had a 6-second pin for third place. He must have been double parked or something.
Well, I think like he got beat early on, right? And had to wrestle back.
Yeah, he got beat in the quarters and wrestled back for third. They had some weird brackets, I think, from what I could tell. They started at 126. They're weird. Like Hockaday only had like a round robin. He wrestled was Jamarcus Smith from Mumford. Smith was third at IPO, lost his first round match to Jandris, and then wrestled all the way back. And Hockaday won IPO, so that was a good match there. I just know Smith because he was coached by a guy I wrestled with in college.
I think Jamarcus Smith, that's who beat Evan Stanley at IPO last year, right?
Yeah, probably because he Smith won like 9 matches and lost he won his first round. He was the number 1 seed because he was like a state placer, and 6 doesn't have a lot of seeds. He won his first round, then lost in the round of 64, and then wrestled 8 more matches and got third in about a 4.5 hour span.
Yeah, because I heard you guys weren't given that full time difference.
Hey, we're here to run a tournament. If you're not in shape, then go home. But yeah, Miller was in an 8-man bracket, lost early on, and ended up outplacing the guy that beat him. So that's
who I think obviously my Michigan, outside of like a couple guys that are in the national rankings, I think they said he was like the number 1 ranked guy in like Division 4 or something.
Yeah.
There it is.
Nice. So yeah, that's it is a tough tournament from top to bottom for them to get into, and then they'll see Davison again this week. So Davison might be trying to go for a little bit of revenge, and we'll talk about the Carnahan here in a little bit. But yeah, it's real good showing for Brownsburg, and it's always good for Indiana to kind of get get recognition like that. And I can't really tell you a time that I can remember an Indiana team in the top 10, honestly. And actually being able to kind of, in all honesty, being able to prove it by going to some of the out-of-state events. So
yeah, I think, and that's huge. I know we didn't. I know there's been a lot of that on the board about like, high lineups and stuff like that. But you're going to these national level events, and then Indiana's, and we'll talk about the Carnahan. I know it's on the list, but you're creating national level events in Indiana that you can bring top level teams in. I mean, we especially in the region, you're in like a good area where you're close to Michigan, you're close to Illinois. Ohio's closer to you guys, but they'll come across, and they want to come wrestle like some of the best guys in the country.
Yeah, and just looking at the top 10, 7 of them are either prep schools or Catholic recruiting. Wyoming Seminary, Blair Academy, Malvern Prep, Bergen Catholic, Detroit Central Catholic, Bethlehem Catholic, Lake Highland Prep, another prep school. So Brownsburg is a true public school. I'm not 100% certain about Stillwater and Buchanan, but yeah, there's 7 of those 9 ahead of them are legit recruiting schools where they have to recruit for athletes just because they have to recruit for kids. So they're powerhouses. So that's pretty I'm pretty positive Stillwater is a public school, but they also have had quite a few people move in there also that their brothers go to like Ohio or Oklahoma State. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. But I think it's cool that like that some of the top, and obviously we're gonna talk about another one in a second, but that the top programs are going out and seeking that challenge. And then you talk to the coaches, and they're excited to do it. Like, that's what they want, and I think that's really cool because I think there's been times where not that they're protecting records, but like maybe they didn't have the means to go or the backing from the administration to go do this type of stuff. And the two of the best three teams in the country or in the state are out chasing the best matches they can get, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I mean, that one thing that you mentioned about the administration, letting them do that. That's huge because I've been through some very shaky administration, ads and stuff that didn't want to do different things, and it's like being able to do that is huge, and be able to change your schedule on a whim. I know, like, we just had a change, just on a date of our schedule, and our AD's like, yeah, whatever, you're as long as you guys are good with it, I'm good with it. So that kind of thing is huge. As a coach, it makes life easier that you don't have to fight with an AD about getting into events, or hey, we need to drop this because we need a better event for this weekend, that type of thing.
Mike Morgan said they wanted 120 to be the highlight weight because you had 1-7-10 in the country in the weight. That's cool. I like that. I like when you're putting the best match last.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, everyone's matches are really good, but if you're a parent, if you're a fan, I have different opinions. Yeah. But I think that whatever the highlight match is should be the last one. Like, you want everyone to stay to the end. Yep. We did it at the NCAA's when it was Dake and Taylor. They put Dake and Taylor last. No one was leaving.
Yeah. Exactly.
It wasn't like, like, let's just, let's beat traffic. It's like, we got to stay for this Dake and Taylor match.
Yes. Yeah, no,
I think that's awesome. It's good for everybody. I think too many times we're like, well, we don't want to hurt people's feelings and tell them like that match is better. They know, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like if you're at the Evansville Super Duel and they're like, hey, we're gonna keep this Purdy and Sowers match to the end of the day, I'm guessing that gym's gonna be a little bit fuller if it's not the beginning of the day.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And that's all about promotion of the sport and trying to get the best matches and being able to do it. I know the IHSA didn't want to do that with Red versus Lee, and I think they should have. I think that would have been just build up that the anticipation of that match.
Oh yeah.
On. So
yeah, I think they missed an opportunity there because like a lot of times you can hype up stuff, but that lived up to the hype. That was a great match.
Yep.
It's like when the Cleveland Indians played the Cubs in the World Series. They missed an opportunity to have Charlie Sheen come out and throw out the first pitches while things were gone. It might have changed the thing. We might not ever have a Cup World Championship.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
The Indians missed an opportunity there.
Yes. But the Cubs got the win, so that's what matters, right?
Yeah. Depends who you ask.
The good guys won, so yeah. Anyway, great showing by Brownsburg, and then they'll be at Carnahan this weekend because they're just going to take a little week off here. Speaking of Carnahan participants, the Trikoff, Crown Point had a pretty solid day. And
yeah, they're really good. I feel like sometimes I'm a homer and I like push the region. Obviously, I don't get to see, a lot of the stuff down south. I'm not driving to Evansville on an off weekend to get down there wrestling. So I have to like hear it secondhand, and I get to see Crown Point and those guys, up front. And man, that lineup is stacked. That's a stacked lineup.
Yes, it is. And earlier in the week they beat Chesterton 71-6, and then
and I think they had. I don't believe Logan Frazier wrestled that match. I don't think Seth Williams wrestled, but I think they won that match anyways.
Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, they beat Lake Station 84-0. Perfect score.
Dude, and I love Lake Station, and I love the coaches there. But I looked at the results, and I texted Hawk They literally wrestled for like 5 minutes. That was a 5-minute duel. Like they completed the amount of that duel, and then Lake Station's gonna do great. And we talked about like wrestling that the Trikoff affords you the opportunity to wrestle it at your level. Those are different levels, but they finished that duel in the amount of blood time.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's not. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. That's just Crown Point's a national level team, and like Lake Station, I think they had a couple forfeits in there. It wasn't a full lineup, so I don't want to like they got 14 wins. I think there was more forfeits than matches, but the matches that did wrestle were pretty quick.
Yeah, they had 6 matches. They have a Vega on their team, Alex Vega at 120. Well, no, obviously, Leroy needs to be training his cousin up a little bit.
That's not a common name in your guys' area?
Okay. No. Even though we did have a Vega that wrestled for us a few years ago, and I remember we were wrestling Zionsville, and Jared Williams was like, I was kind of a little bit worried about that Vega name. I didn't know if it was like one of Vega's cousins or something. I go, yeah, he is. So
yeah, but yeah, that match, and Cook's right, man. But those guys go out there and throw you, and the Crown Point did what really good teams do and pitched a shutout. Just came out the gate, dominated.
Yeah, and then they beat Westfield 62-9. Interesting result. We were talking beforehand. Big Mike Platonov, Liam Begley of Crown Point. That was one of the wins. Where was the other? The other two were at Braxton Vest over Evan Cruz and John Maynard over Sean Anderson, who I believe wrestled all day. But tell us a little bit about Begley, because I know we were talking about him and his dad pretty well and everything.
Yeah, so his dad, Sean Begley, was one of my coaches in high school. He's from New York. He wrestled at the Citadel. He's like 6'4", like probably close to 300, pretty lean, like still runs like 5Ks. He's like, I think he's an administrator at Munster now. He used to be a principal at Lake Central. I think he had like 3, possibly 4 tours overseas. I asked him when I was in high school, I was like, oh, you wrestled Division I? Did you ever wrestle anyone good? He's like, I wrestled this guy. His name was Sylvester Turkay. And I just always thought that was a really cool name. And then I found out Sylvester Turkay was a monster. So Liam wrestled when he was a kid. Like his older brother's name's Cale, after Cale Sanderson. And then they didn't wrestle in high school. And the ones at Ball State now, the older ones at not Ball State, but Butler, playing football. And Liam came out this year. He's a senior. And I know that like he'll just continue to get better because his dad was an animal. His dad was like, I don't even know if he was 30. So he was still in the room like wrestling guys and like just breaking people. He's like one of those guys that's so big that like he doesn't know how strong he is. He would just hurt guys. Like, I don't understand when I grab you. Why are you injured?
I did a collar tie. You're injured. Why is your neck hurt?
Oh man, he used to like get you in a front headlock, and he's like so big and strong. He would like inside trip you from like a front headlock area, and you would like just fall down. It felt like you like break your neck, and you just he'd just be like, this guy's like, go get a drink. He'd be like, dude, like this dude's so good. So like Liam Begley will get better. Like Hector said, he's strong. He's undersized, but he's strong. I think his mom like ran cross country in college. I know she was a high school cross country coach for a long time. His dad's a Division I athlete, and he probably has to go home and like take some like horrific like, hey, let me show you some stuff really quick that you need to be doing in matches.
Nice, yeah. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. I mean, obviously Jack Reese is pretty good, pretty solid himself. So I'm sure that's a good
2-year starter for those guys.
Yeah, good little wrestle off. Portage 64-12. The only losses were at 220, 285, and 126. So if you have a good 220 and heavyweight, I guess that's in a 126. Obviously, Frazier didn't wrestle those matches. So
well, I mean, and Crown Point has a good 220 also.
Yeah.
I mean, with Corey Hill's tough, man. Those are 2 ranked guys.
And then Cathedral was a lot closer. 44-25, some big matches there.
Portage with a big win over Chesterton last week also.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Possibly 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. You got Aiden Reyes over Evan Cruz. That's a pretty big match. Logan Frazier, tech fall, Josh Johnson. That's a very big win. Zeke Seltzer only a 6-2 win over Ball, which that's kind of surprising there.
I think it's a weird matchup. I think Ball uses his length really well.
Yeah.
Anthony Ball, he's like a sleeper. I think that he can make a run.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a type that'll keep you honest. Staying in good position. Obviously Zeke's, extremely talented, always staying in good position, but Ball's gonna, with that length and stuff, he can make you think twice about, doing certain things. So, and I'm sure they'll have a little bit different if they wrestle again. I'm sure there'll be a little bit different strategy, and he's probably one of those types of guys that getting your hands on, knowing what it feels like is something that you can expand on.
I thought Ball wrestled Sergio. I believe he wrestled Sergio last year in the first duel, and did really well against him. He's like one of those kids, and obviously everyone can say everyone feels this way, and I know we get the message all the time they don't care about rankings. That kid literally doesn't care. Like he'll go out there and go at anybody.
Yeah.
I think that's a different type of trait that not a lot of people have. That they don't care who's across from. They'll go at him for 6 minutes. And we can say, well, this doesn't happen. Like that kid will literally go at you for 6 minutes. He doesn't care. And I think that's huge.
Yep.
I always felt that. I mean, we're gonna get to 38 in a second. I always felt that way about Jesse. I don't think Jesse ever cared about who he was going against. He would just go at him. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're. I mean, look at old boy from Minnesota just won the Northern Iowa Open this weekend.
Yeah,
beat Drake Ayala, and I think Jesse's like a guy that ever since we've ever seen him, even at a younger age at the IPO, was he's just gonna go at you. He just loves wrestling. He has zero fear. I think that's huge. I don't think people understand how big that is as a high school wrestler. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're in the room. I'm sure you've been in those corners where guys will go even if they're in a close match, will be like, "Why am I supposed to beat this guy? I'm not going to go at him." I'll get to a 1-point match or a 3-point match. I'll say the major, and they'll be happy with that. Where those guys are just "Dude, it's wrestling. I'm going at him."
Yeah, no, that's huge, and it's a mindset. Mendez and that, Luke Gonzalez pinned him. I'm sure he scored about 7 takedowns before that. Probably one of the bigger upsets, Nick Tatini over Dylan Graham, 5-2. Obviously, last year one was at 120, the other was at 170.
Yeah,
50-pound difference last year.
And I know Nick was wrestling up last year, and we got a little bit of buzz on the board. Dylan Graham jumping up to 45, jumping Brody Arthur. We're just semifinalists, and it worked itself out, which it will. But Nick's also a Division I recruit too. He's going to Duke.
Yeah. So that was I guess I didn't think about it, so I just said that. I'm like, yeah, Stevie was up at 170, and Graham was at 120. I think he might have made 13 last year once, didn't he? Or he was.
I thought he did. I thought early on he did, and they thought the weight was too much. Yeah, those guys were definitely you don't see that a lot, right?
They had a 50-pound difference. They just met in the middle. Catch weight. Yeah, so
that's a huge win for Tatini.
Yeah. And we knew Tatini was tough as nails. Obviously, he qualified at 145 a couple years ago. Obviously wrestling up basically to get a spot in the lineup there with the other guys that were there. So now back to a better weight.
I thought Nick. I thought he was going to qualify as a freshman too. He was winning a match and got head loop late. I think he was up. Even if he would have not got pinned, I think he still was in position to win, and against Jake Armstrong or Winamac, and he ended up getting pinned. And then Jake Armstrong Winamac pinned Brody Fogarty and qualified, but he was in a good spot. He's always been in the mix, and I think he's always done what's best for the team.
Yeah. I
mean, anytime you're hey, you're walking around probably 138, you're 138's number one guy in the country, you're 145, beat a nationally ranked guy, and it's just okay, cool. I'm just going to keep moving up the line. As you had, Estrada at 52 last year. You had Cruz at 60. It's where do you fit in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then Sam Goen over Max McGinley, Cody Goodwin over Gabe Bragg, JJ Braun over Seth Willems. That was 6-2. That was a good win for Braun.
Yeah, real good one.
And then, Orlando Cruz, Will Clark, and then Jake Weingard over Paul Clark. Real good duel there. Obviously, some close matches that could go a little bit different. It's going to be interesting to see if they see each other. They're both at team state, so they might see each other again, see if there's any adjustments made. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of room for improvement, for Cathedral to not give up some pins some places, but it's going to be hard to not get pinned by guys like Jesse or Logan Frazier. A tech fall there, that's huge. Getting pinned in certain spots.
Josh Johnson was a state medalist 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was, and getting so last year obviously had some injuries, so he'll be tough there. And I mean, it's early; it's still early in the season, for that. And then Crown Point beat Franklin. I don't know the exact score. I believe it's on the website, but pretty big. Beat them pretty handily. From what
Will Clark did beat DeMarco. That was a good match. It was on RSN.
Yeah.
So he'll be moving up in the rankings.
Oh,
not bad when you got like a set of twins, at 195, 220 that are sophomores that put a bunch of work in this summer to get better.
Nice. Yeah, that's always good. Franklin hasn't put any of the results in. Come on, Tante. You're fired. So yeah, there'll be some matches in there. Cathedral had a good beat. They beat Portage 59-9, and then Franklin 64-16. So that's a pretty big win there. They lost obviously, and they beat New Prairie 76. So
I know New Prairie. I had talked to some of their guys, and I know they're down a couple guys. Dan Luther said that they're down a handful of starters. Obviously, they don't have Christian back yet. They don't have Hunter back yet. So those are two guys that you expect big points from that you're not getting.
Yeah. So any other? I know we had a couple decent matches at the Tom Cameron just across the way. The Hobart and Maryville match was pretty good. I know they were pretty loud in there. It's a couple upsets and big matches there.
Man, I'm sure that could be like a nice little rivalry. Like Hobart and Maryville has like a weird cut. Like it's like Maryville, and then like the mall area on 30 is Hobart. Then it goes back to Maryville. It's just like cut weird.
Nice. Yeah. So, any other events this past week that I did not have on our list, or any other results that we saw?
Trying to think. I know that the results post, which is always one of my favorite posts. I say that all the time. What did they say? The AC. I know they said like they didn't get Birch and Tony Wood, right?
Yeah, the AC.
Maverick Somerset over Meyer. Just the city. Let me see this note. I was unprepared for that question.
I was looking through the results. Luke Rio beat Isaiah Schaefer 14-13.
That's a match.
Schaefer must have missed an extra point. Shanked it to the right.
Brody Porter over Hayden Shepard. I think I heard Brody Porter's gonna go back up to 82 now. Watson Torres 7-6. That's a good match.
Yeah, and they'll see each other. Al Smith.
Yep. That was at Zionsville. I know Zionsville had some good matches. Obviously, you got some really good teams there. Center Grove's there.
Yeah.
Zirkelbach took a loss at 26. Kelby Glenn's really good. I think he was in the rankings, and he's been like right on the cut of the rankings. Just like 20 and 26 are just – you could probably rank 35 guys in there. Those are like two of the ones like you're never struggling to find good 26s and 20s. Some of the upper weights a little bit tough. Where they have Sergio third at the Ironman, which is good, man. I like Sergio. Sergio's a real good kid.
Yeah.
We missed him in Indiana, but he's a good kid. Klauser over Klauser by fall over Washout from Franklin. it just, Fine bumped up and lost to Gershner. That's good for those guys. I don't know how many like, good matches they're always going to get. Um, yeah, Moser over Riley by fall. Delta had a really good day at the Delta duels.
Yeah, they ran through everyone there.
Trying to make a bid Sunday. Sunday we're having the secret meeting.
Uh-oh.
I got my Dakota ring. I'm gonna make some votes.
You got the decoder so that you can get into the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're not supposed to tell nobody. I don't know. Cook's in that same text. I don't know if we're not like, supposed to let people know, but yeah, we'll know the last teams for Team State. But I know that's been an ongoing post. Some teams making some really good bids for it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of neat to be able to see that, and hopefully the teams that get invited can come. Their administration will allow them to change up their schedule enough that they can do that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who gets chosen. I know there's some teams that are making some pretty big statements, especially down low. I mean, I know there's some big matches this week that are going to have some say in that. So I'm kind of curious what it can. So
Thursday, I think Thursday I'm gonna have the new rankings out. So I'll do some. I'm gonna try to do semi-state. I'm gonna try to stay on a set schedule of semi-states on Wednesday. New rankings on Thursday.
Sounds good. That's always good to have those right before the weekend. And make sure, if you do know, that the rule is if you can't beat someone ranked ahead of you, then
no, that's good. You got to get it out of the way now though, because I want to make sure that's all out of the system before we get to like sectionals and regionals.
Okay. Yep, good idea. after we lock them, you cannot beat anyone ahead of you.
Yeah. Nice. Winamax undefeated 12-0.
Yeah.
I think like some of those like 1A and 2A, but Delta's done a really good job. I mean, that's not on the board to like talk about, but that voting would be really good. I think that post has been really good. We've been getting heated. I like when they get I like when they start getting heated a little bit. I don't like to see the red like hidden ones. I get to see them, but you guys don't. But I like that. I think having passion about your teams and who you guys want to get in, I think is always exciting. Man, what is it like? It'll be good. I think there's been a lot of really good early results.
Yeah, I think next year I was poking Dane a little bit. I think we need to have him do a rankings of even a watch list of the Team State teams that are in that, a top 5 teams that, are on the watch list. So people can, say and look at, hey, those are the teams that we're looking at early on, and that can change as it goes on. So,
well, and what would be cool about that would be like, that you could probably, what you'll get is a lot of people giving you these like quick results. Like, cause I think more than anything, you get a lot of people down low that are like, oh man, like we beat this guy. So those teams maybe a little bit more pressure. Maybe they don't want that, but you could have like, oh, we beat. I know that's like what Delta beat. Jay County. I know Jay County is like one of those teams that everyone's. I mean, we talked about it early on. I thought that they could be in the mix to win the Fort Wayne semi-state with the amount of talent they have. That's a huge win for Cody early on in his young coaching career over there at Delta.
Yeah, that was a big win there. December ones. So, yeah.
We did not talk about the Wawa Sea duels.
Nope, that's this weekend. I was looking at this, for some odd reason. I was thinking it was last week, but yes, we have not talked about that yet. So, some big matches this week. Obviously, is Bloomington South in at 3A? They're ranked 7th.
That'd be more of a question for Dan.
Come on. I mean, well, I guess we'll just see real quick. Because there's this website, if you didn't know.
My guy Quinn out here doing work too. Cascade put in that work.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Yeah, I mean, I know South
They got
Adams.
a big win out. They beat Ben Davis too, right? Ben Davis, one of the biggest schools in Indiana.
Yeah. Bloomington South is not in Team State currently. They're ranked 7th, so obviously they're right on that list. They have Floyd Central the 14th, which would be tomorrow. So that's going to be a big one for them. Obviously, that's going to have some team state implications right there.
Carnahan, he's gonna get the Carnahan Carnage going. You got the hashtag crew coming up. They might hit you for copyrights.
Yes.
I seen that they were talking about kind of legal talk in those posts.
Yes.
That modern day Brownsburg post getting pretty spicy too.
Yes. There are some people that try to sign up with new names that try to use a fake email address and it gets returned, and then I laugh at them, and then I find
you can't use, like, if you use like a fake email, you got to use like a good fake email, right? You can't just use like, what was it, like burner?
burner at burner.com or something, and like no, that's not gonna work. And I get, like, when an email is sent from the board, it gets returned to me if it's like a bad email address, like Murray Swain.
Do you think that was Kevin Durant?
Email.
Kevin Durant using his burner account on our page?
Yes.
Come on, KD.
Murray Swain was using his, and I finally just changed it myself because I was tired of getting the returned emails whenever someone would send him a message. So if he's bugging me, you start getting these emails like, "Whoa, how'd this happen?" So yeah. Anyway, yeah, use a real email address, because when it gets returned as burner at burner, it's a red flag there, Mr. Whoever you are. So anyway, Bloomington South at Floyd Central, that should be a good one. That's going to have some team state implications, obviously. Floyd Central's pretty darn good. And Bloomington South, they're right on that voting bubble. Indianapolis Cathedral at East Central, that should be a real good match.
You think maybe we can get a little Roman bumped up to 60 and Jay Conway in that match?
That'd be fun.
we've seen Roman up at 60. That could be exciting.
Yeah, that'd be real fun there. So that could, very interesting match. Then you got Cathedral and East Central. East Central, not afraid to wrestle anybody. They go over to wrestle some pretty good Ohio teams too sometimes.
Yeah, they're real close to Ohio though, right? They're like right on the Ohio border.
Yeah,
it's probably closer for them to go to like Ohio, like the Cincinnati area.
Yeah.
Then I'm not announcing it. The Carnahan region's not doing it. It's going to be on Flow. So if you want Joe's Flow account, it's at Joe.
The password is So it's good.
They kick you off. Like if someone else is watching it, it like bounces you out.
Yes, they do. Cathedral and East Central should be a good one. Center Grove and at Carmel, the battle of the MIC defector, the kicked out of the MIC teams.
Oh, we should get them an award.
Yes, maybe they can do the last MIC champion award, like when we got
wrestle for a boot.
Yeah.
They got booted out.
Yeah, yes, nice. That should be good. Carmel's on the vote-in list there. Center Grove has just been throttling people.
Oh, dude, I think their backups have been throttling people.
Yes.
I seen Butler just posted that their varsity 6 lost, and then their backup beat that guy.
Yeah. And now Coach Swain has to figure out what to do with his lineup because of that.
Yeah, those are what we like to call first world problems. You got backups at every single weight. You could just be really good.
Yes.
Yeah, Jaeger. Yeah, Jaeger's probably a state ranked caliber kid, and he's a backup.
Yeah. That's if you want to head up to Carroll area, we have housing here. Anyway, Mount Vernon Posey at North Posey. That should be a good one. I don't think Mount Vernon Posey is in there in the team state, but I know they have a pretty solid team, so that should be a good one. Battle for Posey County, I assume. I don't know what the Posey mascots are, but that should be a good one. South Adams at Cowan, and I know South Adams is another 1A team looking to get a bid. I know they wrestle like Quinn said, they wrestle Cascade and Centerville this weekend also. So there's going to be a lot of, results to sift through Sunday morning to try to figure out who's going to be getting that last spot. So but it sounds like there's some good competition for it, which is good to hear and neat to see the energy around that.
I think that's pretty cool too. South Adams had a really good weekend. Maverick Somerset with a big win. Who they also had another big win at 26, right?
Yeah, yeah. They beat Adam Central, which is in 1A. And Tyler just said that Norwal's going to Wawa C, which that should be very interesting because though I mean Norwal has a pretty solid team. We wrestled them a couple weeks ago, and that should be a real good match there. I mean they're going to wrestle Wawa C. I'm pretty positive Wawa C's in the at they're already in there. Wawa C's at Team State. I'm pretty positive. I will check that right now. Yes, they are. So Norwell's gonna look. I mean, that'd be a good matchup. I think Northridge, Plymouth, Angola, Utica, Ohio. So that should be an interesting event there. So, any other duels that you saw that were of interest? Single duels?
I think I'm gonna make my RSN debut this week and do the Maryville Chesterton duel on Wednesday. I had to just confirm. Oh, my cat's trying to get over here. I got this rowdy old cat now. There's my daughter's birthday present. We got it from the pound. He's extra rowdy. He likes to fight.
Pound. It's what happens when you grew up around the pound, and then as
he was born into the system. We got him out the hood.
So also Mount Vernon and Delta should be a good match. I think Delta's one in the 2A that's kind of going to be one to look at this weekend. Yes, I got a puppy this yesterday. She's upstairs sleeping, I believe. So yes, my daughter got a puppy. So yes, fun stuff.
My daughter's a cat person. I think I'm allergic to cats. It wasn't when my dad used to smoke at the house. I wasn't allergic to cats. Now I'm allergic to cats.
Nice. So yeah, some good matches this week. Single duels. The big time Garrett Carroll match got moved to next week due to some sicknesses. So, we'll
do you guys wrestle for one of the Joe Caprino stickers or no?
That might be a good. I don't know. I might just since it's at Garrett, I might take a few and just stick them random places. Find my old locker, put it on there. Just have a scavenger hunt. So, anyway, Cook's taking cats off the street. Nice. Such a good dude.
My cat was born into the hood.
Yeah. So, some big multi-duel events as we start going on. We do have a couple good matches at the Carroll Super Duel. We got Jay County versus Garrett. I do not know, can't remember what round that's going to be in, but that should be a good one. Number 3 and number 2 in 2A. Obviously, Jay County might be moving down a little bit, but should be some good matchup there. You got the New Haven 10-way, Adams Central, Prairie Heights.
East Noble's there too.
Yep,
they're pretty good right in that same area Jay County is good at, so there could be some really good matches.
Yeah, that should be. Yeah, they should.
Bishop Dwenger. They should have good individual matchups there too.
Yeah, Dwenger has some good guys there. We wrestled them last week. East Side, Churubusco, us. Should be some real good matches. Obviously, a lot of this is sectional. Minus Jay County and East Noble. This is our sectional type event teams, so that we can wrestle our sectional opponents and have seating over them. Badman Raisin. No, it's the California Raisin. That's what it is. Or actually, the Kendallville Raisin. So yeah, some good matches there. Should be some good matches. New Haven 10-way, Adams Central, and Prairie Heights possibly meeting up. I don't know exactly how they're doing that. I don't know if they have 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, might not be in 10-way, might be an 8-way. But Yorktown, Lakeland, Avon's there. Mechanical has a few good guys.
Like Avon, like Avon 1. Nice.
Yeah. New Haven has some good kids.
Maybe a Luke Rio, Ocampo.
Yeah, that could be a good match. I know that has and Perry Meridian. That's 9. Perry Meridian's varsity too. So that should be some good matches there. The Johnson County World Championships, Center Grove, Franklin, Greenwood, Indian Creek, and Whiteland. I believe those are all duels. I'm pretty positive. Obviously, I have it written down as a. So Franklin versus Center Grove will be a good one.
Oh yeah.
The Henry Wilk. Go ahead.
A little preview of the regional.
Yes.
A little regional preview going on there.
Yeah. We got the Henry Wilk Classic, Springsboro, Ohio, Snyder, Jimtown, Mishawaka, Penn, Westfield, Zanesville, and Edwardsburg, Michigan. I'm going to pull that one up because that should be a very interesting. Has some matches that could be very interesting there. I heard
Henry's a great dude.
I heard
they let Henry Wilk officiate that one.
Yeah, he does officiate. Yeah, he officiates that one. So,
one of my favorites.
Yeah. Is Buchanan at 60 or 70?
He's at 60, I believe.
Jimtown. Okay, I was thinking
they wrestled the. They were at the this weekend, right?
Jim Nicholson. Yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Jimmy Nicholson. I don't want Mishawaka. I guess I can go that one. Where is that? Northwood. Was Northwood there? No. I'm just going all over on my.
No confirmation. I'm guessing that's a pretty good source. 170.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, we gotta change that. But yeah, we could have Tony Wood versus Aiden Sprague. I heard VZ took a loss via slam. He slammed somebody and they didn't get up this weekend, so I'm sure that is not sitting well with him, but could see him versus McDonald, Austin McClure, Christian Chavez, and then I was wondering, I mean, if Jimtown and Snyder wrestle, it wouldn't surprise me if Buchanan bumps up and takes him on. You know, always look. They're Jimtown guys are always looking for good matches. So, as Magger right on cue, you know, so that'd be, hey, you know, go after those matches. It doesn't hurt. I mean,
yeah.
And I mean, you have 170. You have Lucas Pinola, Quimby from Penn, Isaac Valdez. So you got Big Mike Platinov at heavyweight, Peyton Kendall, Eli Smith from Zionsville. Pretty good, you know, a lot of good matches coming up in this. Rob Bender versus Fargo, possibly.
Does Springsboro or Edwardsburg have anybody that are ranked guys? I mean, I've been doing all my research on the Carnahan.
I do not know, and I know Michigan has all their rankings locked, so you can't see them because they're. And I'm not paying $80 to look at random rankings.
What about if it's a $10? You have to wait one day.
Yeah.
For real.
More my style. So yeah, some good matches there. I was gonna move back to so I mean that's gonna be a good day of wrestling overall. I think
the Torres DQ slam. I always think about the Bobby Babcock one where it was just like a double and he cut the corner and kind of drove the shoulder and all.
Yeah.
Like some of those are tough calls. I mean, like that's not a call I want to make either way, but is he gonna be? He's gonna be the John Jones, like not in the bad side of what John Jones does, but John Jones only got one loss on like a DQ.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, should be some good matches there. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing some of those. I think that's on track. Usually.
Nice.
And then where else do we have my document? The Wawa C duels. Actually, I already had that. You got Northridge, Norwell, number 7 and number 8 at in 2A, Norwell and Wawa C. So a lot of, I mean, Norwell is looking to try to sneak into the last spot at 2A, and it's gonna. I mean, they're wrestling a good team, so that should be interesting to see how they match up there, and if you know. Obviously, that not only is that going to help them to get into team state, but also probably seeding wise. I mean, that that'd put them at a 6 or 7 seed probably overall. I mean, I'm sure these will be seeded very close to the way they're ranked.
Oh yeah, and then you're gonna have Angola has some good guys.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Going down, you have our tournaments from Pennsylvania. The McKee Invite at Rochester, always a real good small school event. Bremen, Calumet, Caston, Clinton Prairie, Cowan, Culver, Community, Elkhart, Hamilton Heights, Manchester, North Miami, Northwestern, Tri-West, Triton, West Noble, and I don't think Rochester's on that list, which they should be on that list.
Yeah, it would be weird if they were hosted and then they didn't get to wrestle.
Or they're on the list, but they're not properly. But yes, it should be a real good event. Let's see. It always has some real good small school kids. Looks like everyone's fairly well spread out, but you never know because some guys might be bumping up to try to get some good competition there. Moving up, we have the Marion County Tournament.
This is like the weird weekend where they do like Marion County and then do the city tournament, right?
Yeah.
Like this, even though the city is in Marion County, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to double check. My Indiana geography is not always the best.
Yeah. The Indianapolis City Tournament, which Cathedral wrestles. It's the Cathedral versus the World event. So they're probably they usually clean up pretty well there. There should be some good matches.
But Bishop Shaktar got some guys. I added a bunch of Bishop Shaktar guys to the watch list.
Yes. So we'll see how those guys do there. They'll get tested. Yeah, you're gonna have a Silas Foster versus Josh Johnson match possibly. Lane or Fowler or Jose Smith.
Is it Jose or is it Hosa? I think
it's Jose per the text I got today.
I like it better as Hosa.
Yeah. And Lattimore from Purdue Polytechnic. Obviously that's a school where they're not allowed to wrestle sectional yet, but they have two guys that would probably be in the rankings.
Yeah, Silas Foster's pretty good. I seen that he was underseeded at the Harvest Classic. I think he's like a 5 seed. I'm like, he's probably gonna win this. Mm-hmm. And then he won it.
Yeah. So should be good. Some good matches there. Marion County. Yeah. You got Franklin Central, Perry, Pike, Roncalli, Southport, Speedway, Warren Central, Rebuff, Ben Davis, Beech Grove. Just loaded tournament there.
Always really good.
Yeah.
That's always a rankings changer. There's always going to be someone that comes out of that one that's just like puts on like a great showing.
Yeah. Potential Carol Lavelle versus Keaton Morton. Number 4 and 12, Drew Willis, Ashton Brandon, Bryce Lowry, Romeo White, Kuntz, Zach Wilson, Anthony Oliver.
Willis is in there. Drew Willis is in that.
Yeah. This is like county tournament time.
Yeah.
Luke Hansen, Michael Durham, Antive Jordan, and Sam Peoples, Ron and Hammond there. Loaded just weights top to bottom there. So should be some good matches to watch all day long there. So that's one, I know we always keep our eyes on that one, and it's always one that, like you said, has some breakout guys that aren't.
I know. We should make a post there and say who's going to be like the breakout guy of that event.
Yeah.
Who's going to be Keese? Keese could be the breakout guy of that event. He's really good.
Yeah.
But there's going to be someone that's like unranked coming in that thing that's going to come out with like 3 or 4 really good wins. Mm-hmm. There's a guy I always look for his results. I think he's really good. Malik Stansberry, I think had a really good showing there last year for Pike. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands in there. I think he's pretty talented.
Yeah, that's going to be
that's a sleeper pick in there.
Yeah,
unless he's at 120, then that's going to be a tough day.
Yeah. Kyle Osborne Memorial Invitational at McCutcheon. You have Carmel, Hamilton Southeastern. I know Hamilton Southeastern is one look at 6A. You also have Portage and Western and Plainfield. Should be some good matches there. McCutcheon, I think, has some good kids.
Yeah, I always think when you see the memorial tournaments, I know we talked about this on a different show, but you're always interested to understand, wonder why, it's a memorial. Kyle Osborne wasn't very old. I think I know, not that I think, I remember it, and I pulled it up. He was killed in action while fighting overseas. So definitely, I like that they made that a tough event. And he was a tough kid. I remember. I believe he was like 2002, 2002, 2003, pretty tough. Maybe a little bit after that.
Yeah,
But
I don't recall him too much because I was in college about that time. But yeah, I think we need the Watkins, that memorial page that needs to be added every year so that you can kind of read a little bit more of why they renamed it after someone like that.
yeah, I know. I think Crown Point does that also with the Carnahan. We'll talk about that in a second. But I know. I believe he was like hit and killed by Carl Carnahan was like hit and killed by like a drunk driver on Christmas Eve. So those things you see those memorial events, and sometimes it's someone who's passed away that was influential in the program, and Cal Osborne was a guy fighting for our country that made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. So last but definitely not least, the Carnahan Carnage.
Yeah. Hashtag Carnahan Carnage.
Yes. Yeah, you're talking about those the Avon transfers who invented the hashtag, I believe. I'm pretty positive they invented the hashtag, at least according to them.
I like those guys.
I gotta give them a hard time. For not giving them a hard time, I believe this is I don't know if this is the final list. This is just the list I have. St. Paris of Graham, Legacy Christian, Ohio, Davison, Michigan, Homewood, Flossmoor, Brownsburg, Crown Point, East Chicago Central, Eastern, Greentown, John Glenn, Hanover Central, Hebron, Lafayette, Jeff, and Wheeler.
Hebron? Did you say Hebron?
Hebron. That's one E, not two. At least I say Hobart correctly.
Now.
Now I do. Yes. I'm definitely afraid of Coach Cook and his stance in motion in his jeans against the trees.
Man, there's some guys that like love them some Hobart. That's not Coach Cook. This has been an awesome event. I know this was something that they said that they want to continue to make better. Last year it got good. They started bringing in some tougher teams with Legacy Christian, and then like this year it just went crazy, right?
Yeah. This year they just like all of a sudden started adding the Davison and Graham, and Homeward Flossmoor has some good guys. The Baileys, I think the one won the Ironman this weekend. So,
and I know we were. I get to talk to those guys a pretty good amount, and Bill's awesome at promoting the sport, and like this, like even some of the teams that they wanted to get in there, that they were trying to get in, like just like hammers, like. And I don't think this is it. I think they want these guys coming, and I think they want like to bring in more. Like, hey, like cool. And I don't think they're against like some of these smaller schools being in there, like Hebrons, and they like those guys being in there. Wheeler, obviously, I haven't seen Coach Diaz in here, but that's a good opportunity to showcase some of his guys. But like they want you to bring a full team though. Like you have to bring a full team into this, or they're gonna try to, bring in someone that's gonna just come over the top of you and just be that team. And like I said, we're close enough in the region to Illinois and Michigan. I know they had an opening. I think they wanted to get a Pennsylvania team in, or they had an opening. Someone had dropped out. River Forest dropped out, and I'd messaged Pearson. He's up in Wisconsin, and he has a pretty good team. He always brings a bunch of guys to IPO, and I was like, man, what do you guys got going that weekend? And I sent him like the list of who they thought was going to be there at that point. And he's like, dude, we're at the Minnesota like holiday event. I forgot what it's like a big event. Like I know like Apple Valley's there, they're there. And he's like, I'm gonna try to tell my coach we should drop it and get into this.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been going to that for years.
Yeah. So
but
there are. Let's see. Is Graham's right?
Hector did an awesome job on the board of just putting rankings and like guys that are on there on the first page. 15 national ranked wrestlers, 70 state ranked wrestlers, 4 nationally ranked teams.
Yeah, 10, 11, 12, and 13 are the nationally ranked team. Brownsburg 10, Davison 11, Crown Point 12, and Graham 13th.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so those are going to be pretty. That's going to be a pretty good day of wrestling there. And then let's see. Hector's been updating that post, so check that post out for information. Barrick Jordan, number 1 in the country, 3rd at IPO though last year. So I have to throw that in.
Paris Graham stacked. They're always really good. I agree with Danny though. I think this is gonna be I mean, it's tough because you're not gonna be able to get those Pennsylvania schools in there because you'll lose the Michigan schools. Mm-hmm. But like just for like something that like what these teams that they can't go that far are gonna be able to get some of these like really good teams. And what sucks, and we talked about Brownsburg's coming up, which is awesome. Anytime you get Brownsburg up in the region, get Collier's been home for a weekend. Mm-hmm. Just with those guys last year was awesome. But Modern Day is closer to Kentucky, so they wrestle a lot of those Kentucky guys. Maybe we can get like some of those Kentucky teams to come up here too. Mm-hmm. that are real tough.
Yeah, it's that the interesting thing is that Michigan has the same rules. I'm pretty sure it's a 300-mile rule from the borders. So you have to kind of just be, Ohio's pretty good open border. Illinois, we'll bring a couple more Illinois teams. Wisconsin gets a little bit shaky with us, but you can get in pretty good amount of Wisconsin. Obviously, you can get into Kentucky. So, it can be, there's a lot of room there's a lot of teams in that 3. It's a dumb rule. I'll say it. I don't like it, especially if they're going to come to us. I don't care if a Florida team wants to come up to Indiana to wrestle or play basketball or whatever. That's on them. That's on their school board and administrators to allow that. But
I think and when you're looking at it, like you're gonna like get other good teams from Indiana to come into this too. Mm-hmm. They're gonna say, hey, I want to get into this event. You have some of the top guys. Like, why wouldn't you want your kids in there wrestling? Look at 6. You got Barrett Jordan, Eli Campbell. From us, we have Jake Hockaday, and you have Gavin Gendris. But it's just a stacked weight. You got a 7th placer from Homeward Flossmoor, Deion Johnson at Ironman. Mm-hmm. Like just overall, just a stacked event,
Yeah, top to bottom. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good to see how things work. Is Lowell coming or Michigan?
I don't know. It says maybe.
I don't know.
They should probably let him know, please. They should probably let him know, right?
Yeah, probably, I might know about Saturday morning at weigh-ins.
Yeah.
So,
but that I know that like Legacy Christian team, they're a really small school. They brought some really tough teams. Yeah, they're gonna need a bigger gym. And then you have they have Gavin Brown, Cody Goodwin beat Gavin Brown there last year. He's going to Ohio State. So just tough across the board.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to watch. It'll be a fun seating meeting. Especially because it looks like it's a 16-team tournament. So you're gonna have a drop down of if you don't make the semifinals, and there's gonna be some 4-5s that are darn good. You obviously don't want to be a 4-5. You'd rather be a 1 versus 8 to make the semis. That type of thing.
So who are the number 1 ranked guys in the country there? Mendez is a 2 right now. But he's like one of the best pound for pound guys in the country. Barry Jordan, we said, right? Number 1 on Mad Scout, number 2 on Flow.
Yep. Barr is number 2 on Flow, number 1 on Matt Scouts. And
Vincent Robinson's number 2 on Matt Scout, number 5 on Flow.
Yeah.
There was and what's crazy with Davison was there was like a rumor that like Josh Barr was gonna be an Indiana kid. Mm-hmm. We talked about that a little bit. I know he was in the youth rankings at one point, which was crazy. And it's not like it's not like a one-off. So I think sometimes you have a good group that goes through, and we've seen it before where one team was good for a couple years, and then we talk about the youth rankings, and those guys do a great job. Hector did a great job with it for a long time, and now Eric's doing a great job with it. But you're talking about Brownsburg's going to be really good the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go out there and look at and I'm not just talking about like, oh, they're good for Indiana youth. They're like winning all the ISWA stuff. They're good like national stuff. Like Crown Point's going to be good. Like Landon Hawkins is really good. Like we talked about him at the IPO, but they went out to Virginia Beach this weekend and he did really well.
Yeah.
You know,
him and a bunch of other Indiana Hammers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You had guys like, I know Huddleston was there. And you're going to have these guys that are all going to be going to these schools that are going to these events. And I know that there's always like, well, they're going to do, they're pulling these guys from the area. Like, yeah, those guys want to wrestle national level stuff. And if you're, and I'm not, I don't know, I don't even want to use a school name because I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone. If you're at a smaller school and they're going to, we talked about scheduling, you're going to wrestle the same 5 to 6 teams every year on your schedule. Like, how do you expect to get better and get exposure like that? Or you can go to like a Brownsburg and go wrestle up at Grappler Gold and wrestle the best guys in Michigan, and then go to the Carnahan and wrestle not only the best guys in Indiana, some of the best guys, but you're going to have guys from Ohio, guys from Illinois, guys from Michigan. And then, what is add on team state for that?
Yeah.
And Brownsburg's already been in Ohio this year.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been to Ohio and Michigan. I mean, they travel a lot, and yeah, so that's, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, you as a parent, you look out for what's best for your kids, and obviously, if you want them to succeed in wrestling, getting a good schedule and getting a school that isn't afraid to travel and do things like that, that helps tremendously.
And I mean, and there's guys like Vezzy's a good example, right? Like, yeah. I know that's a guy that you want to see wrestle these events. He's wrestled national events. He wrestled at the Pan Am Games. Drake Buchanan wrestled the Pan Am Games. Mm-hmm. A guy like Lane Gilbert doesn't have the opportunity to wrestle an event like that. He's wrestled at the Pan Ams,
Yeah.
Like you would love to see him get, better matches, bigger exposure.
Yeah, there are a couple. There's at least one nationally ranked guy at 182 there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if these teams are able to. Some more teams are able to get into it and get guys, get their teams in there. And it's one of those. It's a really good event, and it's if as long as those teams keep staying there, I think it's going to start luring some teams there that should be good there.
And then and what Hector just said too is when you get really good teams there with guys that are really good recruits, you get guys like Tom Ryan showing up, and like, maybe you pop. Maybe you're that guy that like he's like, man, I see something there. Like who's this guy? You're gonna have like, a lot of these guys are gonna have Division I recruits. I mean, Crown Point has 3 Division I recruits in their lineup, guys that are already signed to go Division I. But I think that's a big part of it. You're gonna get coaches. Now it's on flow, right? Mm-hmm. Like now you're gonna be casual flow fans are gonna turn that on and be like, this is in Indiana, and that's just another thing for Indiana to say, like, look at where we're going. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, obviously, I graduated in 2001, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Al Smith. I love the Al Smith, but it was like a big Indiana tournament, and it was huge for Indiana. Like, and I think they're bringing in a Michigan team this year, right?
I do not believe they are on the list anymore. They were originally, and they are not now.
Okay, but like we didn't have events like this. Like it was big when Modern Day went to St. Ed's. Mm-hmm. Is that where they went? They went to St. Ed's when Maurer was there.
They wrestled. I want to say St. Ed's and like St. Paris Graham in around 2002, 2003 ish.
And this, I mean, to me, this is huge. And I think what's exciting about it is you have staffs that are like pushing that idea, and you have an administration that's like, yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm. And that's just going to help the state be better. Like it's going to be overall, it's going to be like a better thing for Indiana wrestling.
Yep, definitely. And, being able to showcase it, and I know there's going to be people talking about it. So that's always good for, people, outside of Indiana and even in Indiana, talk about that kind of stuff. So definitely.
But you have to have like a showcase guy. Like they're going to be like, well, you know, Jesse Mendez is number 1 ranked guy in Indiana. This is his school. They're bringing in guys to compete with them, and they got a spotlight, man. I hope they bring out like all the like everything that's going to make it really cool, make it a huge event.
Yeah, should be some really good. I mean, it's going to be some hammers. Can't wait to see the brackets. I don't know when they'll plan on getting those out.
I don't know what the Stadium Genesis Center is like right now. They did have Miss America there before.
Yeah, they had Miss America. Nice. So yeah, it should be. It's gonna be a big event, and hopefully we get brackets soon, so we can kind of start drooling over those. I mean, the hard part is obviously the easy part is you can just follow the post, and it has a lot of rankings and stuff like that, so people can kind of figure out the good guys from the other schools out of state. Obviously, we know who our Indiana guys are, so should be some. I mean, it's gonna be a heck of a tournament, and it's pretty cool to have it in Indiana, to say the least, because we don't get to see this very often in the season. So,
I like to see like how many of those guys are committed to what colleges and stuff too. I'm trying to like scroll through the post to see.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, like I said, you're gonna have a ton of Division I talent there, and a lot of guys are gonna be wrestling at the next level. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a really strong Brownsburg team that just went up to Michigan and did really well, and a really strong Crown Point team that just dominated at the Trikoff. And they're going to be, you know, possibly meeting up in the semis, the quarters, because of how deep the field is.
Yeah. Some of those weights, yeah. You're going to have guys that are winning the grappler gold that might be finishing 5th because they lost in the quarters.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and like I said, like I think that's like one going forward. I know that they're excited to keep adding. Like one, Derek and that staff's never going to shy away from competition. Like they're constantly wanting to wrestle better teams. Mm-hmm. And I know like the Crown Point staff wants to bring in better teams. Mm-hmm. And like for one, like Sessa, who's on staff, and Hawkins, who's on staff, their kids are coming through, and they want them to wrestle the best kids too. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun to watch this the whole event, and obviously this is kind of just the beginning. But I think what that event's gonna be coming out through, especially when you, like you said, Hawkins and Sessa have kids coming through, so they have a very big vested interest in the future of that event.
Now you're gonna have some guys that are maybe right on that like cut of national rankings that could slip into the national rankings. You know, you know, guys that are highly ranked Indiana guys. You know, I think, you know, like Logan Frazier, who's had some good results. It's a good opportunity. Crown Point got a lot of number 1 guys, top ranked guys. Brownsburg got a lot of guys. So 2 of our best going up there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just turn around, go right to Team State.
Yeah. There's no rest there for any of those teams. Got the link I'm putting it in the post because I'll forget about it. But for the video streaming on Flow.
Yeah. What was the 1 year where like it was like Brayton and Walton and all those guys? They did like something like that. They went up to like Detroit Central Catholic to wrestle Team State, and they wrestled like their county like all in like a week span, like right on Christmas. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was wild. Those guys, like I said, those guys are not going to shy away from it. I think this is an event. So if you're a team that's like looking towards the future and you want to be in one of the best Indiana tournaments, I think that's somewhere that you want to be.
Yep. I just added all the brackets to it. When's the Wheeler Marion Academy? Yeah.
Marmion?
Marmion. Sorry. Hebron. And we're Central Garin Catholic's going to be there. Glenn, Elyria, Eastern, Davison. I'll make sure those teams are all in there properly for the event. So yeah, it should be some good. I don't think East Chicago Central is in there now. Nope, they are out. Way better for them.
Well, that was one of the things I was disappointed though. I think when River Forest dropped it, like I thought that was kind of that was disappointing for like Bailey, right? Jeffrey Bailey.
Yeah.
That could have been a good event for him. I know he went there last year and lost to Campbell. Yeah, Dylan Campbell's no joke. 6 and 8, #1 in Ohio, 10th grader, 4th at Ironman. But those are the matches that he needs. He needs those matches, and I know they were pulled out of Trekhov. I think they had a little bit of COVID issue or injuries, or I don't remember. I'm not trying to tell tales outside of school, but I think that I was disappointed to see those guys pull out, just because I think that's a good 1A team that had some guys that were pretty talented, like a Jeffrey Bailey, that you want to go in there and see competing in some of these better 106s. It could have been good to see him, Gendris, and Hockaday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be a real good. It looks like I got that ad. Yeah, that'd be a real good. We need to add a team, but yes, yeah.
And Barrick Jordan, he's just Ironman champ. That's where you want to see you're at, right?
Yes. So yeah, it's gonna be a real good day of wrestling. Hopefully they have some announcers on there. I don't know what the plan is for Flow. Usually I don't know if they'll send somebody or if they plan on having Hector on the Hector and Hawkins on the call or what. But
Hawkins came in. The guys have been in the chair.
Yeah. Hawkins will do both. He'll be commentating while in the chair.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard. Getting the new job for that. I'll be there. I got that. I think I know like Region cannot do it. They said that it's like a contract thing, so they will not be there. Yeah. So, like I said, if you want Joe's Flow information, you got to contact Reeve Muncie.
Yes. Reeve was kicking me off last year. I've changed my password since then. So yeah, should be some. I mean, it's going to be a heck of a day, and hopefully we're able to watch it because it should be some real good wrestlers, and I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, any other events that you saw on the list? That's all the ones I pulled of top ranked teams and everything. It's nice having that this week thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's way better. It's easier to follow. It's a nice little addition to the site.
Yes. I don't know if anyone noticed, but if you go to like a multi-dual event now, there is a listing of the team records so that you can see which teams and their records for that day. So you can see basically if people reported results mainly, but if they saw, you can see what teams did well at their event. So
Penn's Girl Tournament, Eric said.
Yes, Penn's having a girls tournament this weekend. I'm sure the girls tournaments have been huge.
Yeah. Lebanon had a huge one. 200, I seen Eric posted it.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a couple. I mean, they had girls from like 3 states. I know some Ohio girls, real good Ohio girls that came over. Real good to see that. I mean, that's awesome. And it's going to keep growing, and hopefully it gets sanctioned here soon.
Yeah, well, we only had 2 Olympians.
Yes, only a third of the team was from Indiana. So
yeah, that was disappointing. I would say we never really touched on that. I was very disappointed in that decision.
Yeah, that was Indiana is very weird about adding sport. I think I think in their defense so IHSA kind of didn't want to willy-nilly add a sport, and then other sports like, well, you need to add us. I think they kind of wanted to put a little bit of a threshold and a protocol in there. I think it's going to happen sooner than later, and the first one that's going to go through that is girls wrestling, and that's going to get added here in a year or two, I would say. It's my guesstimate.
I think so. Well, I think it deserves to be. Yes. I think that those are working really hard, and obviously the numbers have grown. It's that state tournament that the IHSWC has put on has grown so fast. It's unbelievable.
Paul, I do not, according to the people I have talked to, maybe Jason Edward Cook the first can confirm since he is the vice president, but it doesn't sound like, and that's, I think that even out of Balkins' mouth, if I'm not mistaken, says that they don't have to add a boy sport. So they can add a girl sport. I don't know exactly the reasoning if there is a title, if they have to go by Title IX and all that stuff, but so I think that is not a reason why they're holding off. If it is, that sucks. But yeah, Cook is the vice president, soon to be presidente of the Coaches Association in 2 years, so he should be able to give us all the good information.
Nice.
So, hey. So anyway, any other bits of information? Any other tidbits? We've been on here for a little over an hour now. Jeez, an hour and a half.
Not too much. I think that's about it. I know the article's been going well.
Yeah, we had a good one on good day for Mr. Birch. Also, got Monday. He's good article on him, and then he saw that he committed to Marion, so he had a real good day. An article wrote and get featured in on as a signing.
We did skim over that. I know we talked about in the pre-show Asa to Rutgers.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Asa. We like Asa. They, I think that we were talking about kind of the fit there. Seabass this is his last year, and Asa's essentially like a freshman. Maybe he flies into 41.
Yeah. And they have that Sammy Alvarez at 133. I think he might have missed weight at
Big Tens.
At Big Tens or something. I know he's a big. They were talking about him and Seabass switching. So, so I don't know what the. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting see where he fits in there. I'm sure he still thinks he's a 33 or 41 pounder. At least from what I can tell, he doesn't look like he's any bigger. But obviously, you don't know what he weighs. So
yeah,
it'd be kind of neat to see. Kind of been flying under the radar.
Well, I thought he had a really good like redshirt season and then some opens. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
that'll be a good gift for Rutgers. You always want to see Indiana guys do well, so it's a good program, good coaches. Still in the Big Ten.
You still might have to. You might see Drew Hildebrandt show up in a Penn State singlet, from what the rumors are saying too. So
yeah, that'd be good for Drew also. College wrestling's been interesting, huh?
Yes.
Got a little rowdy. Yeah, everyone trying to fight now.
Post match brawls are standard. So, Cook with the information so that they voted on keeping all current sports. Voted to give emerging sport status to girls wrestling. They don't need to add another sport. So, I'm sure the one thing that the emerging sports thing, we'll just have to bring Cook on here. He knows it all. He probably knows him a little bit more, but that emerging sports thing is not very well defined, at least from in the bylaws. So it's kind of one of those things. So yeah, and WWE contracts. Mason Parris signed with WWE.
Oh yeah, that's wild. Good gift for them.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of neat. That's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that. If they actually go WWE or they Mason wrestles international for a few years and then wins a couple more world gold medals, and obviously that stuff's. I think they someone said, I read on one thing, like the WWE would love for Mason and Ferrari to win some world gold medals because that kind of brings more. They have a resume. They add more to their resume and stuff, just like Gable did. So.
Oh yeah. But I think it's tough, though. I mean, obviously Mason's really good, but he's not like Gable good, and like Kirkfeld's really good at freestyle, right? And he got Mason the last time they wrestled.
Yeah, in freestyle, yeah.
It could be like a Kerry McCoy, Stephen Neal type thing, where Stephen Neal was the man in college 3 times. I think he won a world title right out of college, and then Kerry McCoy kind of took it over, and then Stephen Neal just went and played for the Patriots, won a couple of Super Bowls.
Yeah. And you have Gwiz, who's a multiple-time world medalist, still lurking at the top there too. So, yeah, pretty crazy.
But I think that's a cool wrinkle in the thing, right? Like you got those guys. With the WWE gave out 12? The 12 deals.
Yeah.
like some track, and then like some football players. The two sisters that play basketball at Fresno. But it's like I wonder if that's like one of those things that when they made that rule that they thought that would happen.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I saw like Gable going to WWE, but I never really saw the other guys going there as of right now. It's kind of interesting to see what that those NIL deals are going to be very interesting to see how they work out and how they evolve over the years. I think it's so new, and people just don't know exactly what's coming with them.
Oh yeah. So, but that's so cool, man. I'm glad those guys are making money.
Yep.
Good for them.
Yeah, good. This is the prime time for them to, especially wrestlers. This is when they're the most marketable, and previously they couldn't sign an autograph for $5. So
yeah, I think I agree. I think that I always thought that was like a weird thing. I was watching this thing where these guys were shaving points at Arizona State like in the 90s. It was on like Netflix, and they were talking about like they didn't even have like $20. They said like there was a lot of times that they couldn't go out. These guys were selling their jerseys or stuff, but like how many college jerseys, like how many number 5 like Notre Dame jerseys did you see like when they went to national championship? Yeah. Those guys weren't getting any of that. Well, they were getting an education, I guess.
Yeah.
But not I guess they were. But like what's they said the quarterback from like Alabama like is making so much money. Like now why would you want to leave? I mean, if he's making $1 million a year, just won the Heisman.
Yeah, no, that's and it's they can do what they need. I hate. Yeah, it's good. I think there needs to be some regulations, but it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves as an innocent bystander and seeing how things evolve. And I'd like to know more, but I think that a lot of stuff's kind of kept on the down low. So
yeah, I think Coach Cook said IHSA girls wrestling has some questions to be answered. Encourage all coaches to answer all IHS WCA surveys. We need to have all coaches and all programs represented on our surveys to increase the influence of the IHSA's decision making. Spoken like a president.
Yes, I mean, man, I'm voting him for Senate now.
I don't know. Don't do that to that
guy. He's a good guy. He does stance in motion in his jeans in the woods. So there's never a bad opportunity to do stance in motion.
But that'll be interesting. That was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Asa. Tough loss for IU though. I think Asa could have been a good gift for those guys.
Yeah.
But I know they have some guys. They had some guys over there that were going to be right in the mix in that same area.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cantu girls are tough. Those are tough kids, man.
Yes. Yeah. So, anyway, any other bits of information to talk about?
I don't think so. Try to get some rankings out this week. Like I said, we're going to try to get the semi-state. Wednesday, Thursday state rankings come out. Hopefully, if you guys any information that's not posted either on Track Wrestling or on like the dual results page that you want to be in there, please send it to me before that. Don't send it to me afterwards. Like, I don't understand. And I'm like, what? They're cousins with the Mendezes? I did not know that.
Nice. So.
But I think that's always good stuff. Like you want I want these to be as accurate as possible. Obviously, I don't take that personal. I know like some people are posting like I didn't see this result. And if I didn't see it, like there's tons of results that I'm not going to see through the summer. If you post it, like I'll try to get it fixed. I don't think those guys are not going to be like, oh man, you moved me down because that guy beat me this summer and you didn't know. Generally, everyone wants them to be right. So keep winning, keep doing your thing.
Yep. And I'll do a better job of looking them over before I post them. I know we had 132. Salami was there twice. I have a little check, and I was like, man, I was in a hurry and didn't pull my check. I do that little check, and I'm like, crap. So
one time, it's all right. Could be worse. We could have Illinois kids in there,
or kids that have graduated like 3 years ago. So.
We've done that before, though.
Yeah. So anyway, well, we will be back next Monday. Yep, we'll be back next Monday. The Monday after that is what, the 26th, 27th. Okay, yeah, we should be there, I assume. Talking wrestling, lots to be talking about these next couple of weeks. Obviously, the week of the 27th, we'll be doing a lot of preview of the Al Smith and stuff. So, yeah.
Wait, Hector said Kansas will bring Hobart many titles, but they're at Maryville. Come on. That's a different area. Hobart kids at Maryville.
Yeah. Yes. So, yeah. So next, we're gonna plan on going Mondays for the foreseeable future. I was just double checking to make sure it wasn't like the day after Christmas. So, we have lots to talk about. Lots of actions heating up. We'll have a lot to talk about next Monday. So I'm kind of excited for a good week of wrestling, another big week, and lots of report your results, send them in, send Mike and any rankings guy their results. The results that we may or may not have missed. So put them in in the system so that they see them. So that's so. But with that, we're gonna get out of here, and we will see you guys next Monday.